I recently read From Campus to Career Navigating the First Few Years on the Job by Sue Shellenbarger. What stood out to me most was that early career success isn't just about technical skills. It's really about how you build relationships, communicate, and handle challenges. Three skills from the book that I think will be especially valuable in my professional life are building influences without a title, communicating intelligence effectively, and staying resilient when things go wrong. The first skill that really resonated with me was learning how to gain influence even when you don't have a formal authority or job title. Early in your career, you start at the bottom, and that can feel frustrating. But the book explains that influence doesn't just come from a job title. It comes from being helpful, building strong relationships, and developing skills that others rely on. Instead of waiting for leadership opportunities, the idea is to become the kind of person people trust and go to for help. I can apply this by networking intentionally, asking thoughtful questions, and volunteering for projects where I can add value. This feels practical because it focuses on what I can control. The second skill that stood out to me was how the book talks about appearing intelligent. It explains that trying too hard to look smart can actually have the opposite effect. Using big words or talking too much can make someone seem insecure. Instead, people are seen as intelligent when they speak clearly, listen well, and respond thoughtfully. That really struck me because being in a professional setting, it's easy to feel pressure to prove yourself. But real confidence shows up through clarity and curiosity. In my career, I want to focus on being concise, asking good questions, and being comfortable admitting when I don't know something. The third skill that stood out to me was resilience. The book makes it clear that everyone faces setbacks, and what matters most is how you respond. That really hit home for me during my current job search. I've sent out hundreds of applications in my resume and have received mostly rejection emails. At times, it's been really discouraging. But instead of seeing those rejections as proof that I'm not capable, I've had to remind myself that rejection is often part of the process. Staying focused, continuing to improve my applications, and not letting frustration take over has required resilience. The book reinforced that bad weeks, or even bad months, don't define your long term success. Your response does. Overall, this book helped me realize that the transition from campus to career is less about being perfect and more about how you show up every day. Building influence, communicating clearly, and staying steady under pressure are skills that will shape long term success, and they're skills I plan to intentionally develop.